Hey, Bruce. We didn't see Victor Olofsson out on the ice today. Is it just maintenance day, or?
Yeah, lower body injury. Won't play tonight. Day to day. Anticipate it'll be a very short term.
How much of tonight do you want to get Reilly back up to speed as far as maybe not familiarity, but just making sure where he's at game-wise? And at the same time, how do you see him fitting in with Juan Schwint?
Well, he didn't get in till late. So first of all, we have to sort of temper our expectations for the first game. We know what he is. We've seen it here for years. He's a veteran player that's had success in this league. So tonight's not going to move the needle for us. I'm sure there'll be some adrenaline being back here, etc. But at the end of the day, we see him, as a fit. We always thought he'd be a good fit with Carly. And Carly's getting closer. But so we're just slotting him in there for now. He's going to move around tonight. Again, we know his game better than most. So that's the good part about coming in. He knows our team better than most. So, but for tonight, let's just get him up and running. He'll play on both special teams. He'll start with Nick. Could be good for Nick to give him some juice. But as I said, I would anticipate he'd move around in the lineup. Yesterday we thought maybe with Olofsson, but Olofsson came in today and wasn't ready to go, so we thought that could be a good fit. But so that's where we're starting. But by no means is that where we're ending. Let's just get him up and running, part of being a Golden Knight again, and go from there.
Bruce, you've been on around a lot of guys, obviously, at the deadline. Reilly said that this was definitely a nice change for him that he knew he was coming back. What was your initial meeting with him, and did you sort of the vibe you got off of him when you talked to him?
Well, I mean, we texted yesterday when the deal was done. I know he's excited to be back. Talking to him today, those are the first conversations. Reilly, we know what you can do. He said, I'm just happy to be here. I'll play wherever I play. I just want to get up and running. And so we're on the same page there. As I said before, I have a pretty good idea where I think he'll fit once we get our full complement of players back. But let's get him back playing our way. I believe he's excited to be here. He still owns a home here. He's got great memories here. He won a Stanley Cup here. And I guess coming from New York, they weren't sure what direction was happening there. And he knows the direction here for sure. The expectations will be to try to get another cup, hang another banner. And I'm sure he's excited to be part of that. So that's where we're at. And that's where we're at. I think that's where it ended the conversation. It was short. He knows how we play. We'll sit him down with our coaches and whatever minor adjustments we've made, but our systems have not changed a lot in 2 years. There's always adjustments in game, playoff series, etc. But in the big picture, he should be able to get right up to speed quickly with that stuff. It'll just be a matter of getting reacclimated with new teammates that he hasn't been around for a year and whatever it is a half.
How much easier does that make it for the rest of the guys on the team that have a lot of familiarity with Reilly? As
Well,
opposed
quite
to...
a bit, I think. I think there's new players in that dressing room. There's been a lot of change. Last year there was less. This year there is. So there's certainly new faces in there, but there's enough familiar ones that I think he'll bypass a lot of those steps about deferring and. Okay, what about this? Where's the practice rink? I need directions here. You know what I mean? You come in, there's stuff like that you guys forget. Like, where am I staying? All those little things are taken care of. So it's about just going out and playing hockey now for him. And I think that, especially with families, like Hurl came in last year. He's got 2 young kids, right? Where, all these different things you're thinking of. Even Brandon Saad comes in and he's got young children. So there's other things going through your head, schooling. Who knows what, outside of the rink, and he doesn't have to worry too much about that. So it's just about playing hockey and helping a team win. And I think it takes sometimes a while to get to that level when you're new to a place in the city, and he won't have to worry much about that at all.
I was asking more familiarity with the other guys on the team when you bring in someone who they all.
The teams, well, our guys, half of them know him. They know what he brings. So that goes back to the original. We feel like Carly knows him better than anybody, so getting that, seeing if what it looks like as a line when everyone's healthy is in the back of our minds, right? So that part of it, And tonight with Nick, you know, he's played with Reilly, so that make it easier on everybody. He's played a little with Jack, obviously, here, not Hurdle. Maybe Howie on the wing, too, so that there'll be, no matter who he goes in with, he should be able to have some level of relationship with, which, and the same for whatever line he's in, they will know him as well. So I just think the whole thing's easy, both for him, the teammates, their family, everybody. It becomes a little bit easier when you've been there and done it. And you can't turn back the clock, we know that, but by the same token, familiarity does, I mean, it makes it a little bit easier in all aspects.
There's always a lot swirling around the deadline, which is pretty much over with now. But is there a sense for you, okay, now we have our team. Now we move forward from here from your standpoint?
Yeah, and listen, as a coach, you're going into it, and there's a lot of things going on and moving parts, but I don't think you get too caught up in, well, what's it going to look like at 12 noon? We added Brandon Saad a while ago, so you can almost call him a deadline addition. He's come in. We've getting good games out of him, good veteran presence out there. You know, me and Krim have discussions. I mean, there could have been a lot of big deals or none. Right? Either way, I'm going to work on what we have, right? And Smitty was discussed, and we knew what he brought. So, again, you wrap your head around that a bit. But other than that, we're trying to build off the Leafs game. I think our game's been really good lately. I really do. So that's been much more my focus about who we're adding, or hopefully not losing anybody, but how can we keep building this thing? And we've put ourselves in a position now to contend for well, we were always in contention for the division, but now we're playing like that's, you know, it's ours, right? That's how we're approaching, and hopefully the players keep that mindset, because I think that'll benefit us, and playing well every night, and that's more where my head's at as a coach than, you know, whether we're dropping a guy in here or there, and we're starting to get there. And that's a big positive in the way we're playing. Playing against good teams. Jersey's a good team. Toronto's a good team. LA, as we said, we got away from us a bit, but there was 40 good minutes there. So those good teams, we got to be ready to play every night. And that's where, as I said, our focus has been on, and it's trending well.
You think back a year ago, this time you guys get Hannafin and Hurdle, and now where you look at where both of them are in your lineup, how key they are to your team. Specifically with Hurdle, when did you feel like you really settled into being such a leader for this team?
Yeah, well, that was obviously he was injured, so he didn't even get in till the last, I think, 10 days, and then we're trying to find a place, and that's the difficult part, right? Is fitting those pieces in. The year before, we had 20 games for Barbie. Hanny came right in. We had an injury in defense, and he, you know, that was a little more seamless. Thomas, because he was hurt, took a while, and I think it took him till probably a few months this year. We had him on the wing for a while, and it was going well with a big line. I think it was with Nick and Colasar for the most part. Understanding the centerman's role in our system, he goes into the middle. Carly gets hurt, and I think he took off from there. Pav's been a real good fit for him. I think it was Olsen on the other side. I forget how it started, but that's when I think he's really settled in and become a real good version of himself, is when he got back into the middle. We knew he was a centerman. We knew we'd go back to him in there. And that's when I felt it started. I think the power play helped him right from day one. He's been scoring in that bumper position. So that's a big part of feeling good about your offensive game. But his overall 5-on-5 game, I think, has been really good, probably since mid-November or so. I think we made the switch maybe December 1st. Time's getting away from me a little now, but that's probably about an accurate picture, and that's where we always felt he would give us his best play. You know, was going to be Jack, Hurdle, Carly, Nick Waugh. We've had some injuries. Hopefully that picture will look like that in due time here.
Bruce, if we can go back to Reilly for a minute. I remember the previous two regimes. One referred to him, they spoke highly on the IQ. One said he was the smartest player on the roster that Stanley Cup year. Second one said that they felt like he was an extension of the coaching staff. Can you talk about his, from a cerebral standpoint, Reilly Smith?
Well, he understands the game as good as anybody, right? He's got an analytical mind, I believe, when it comes to hockey. So I agree with those statements. Is he the smartest guy in the room? That's a tough one. We have a high IQ room. that allows us to do some things on the fly as a coach, right? You can do them without always having to practice them over and over. So certain things you got to practice, I believe, but other things you got to make adjustments in game. We've been very fortunate. I've been very fortunate here, right? Jack, Mark Stone. I go right down the list of guys that are William Carlson that were, really, you could talk to them for a second. Hey, we need to, and we could do it. So he fits right in there. I think that's one of the identity, our identity of our team. That is part of probably one of 2 or 3 adjectives you'd put in there is we are a high hockey IQ team, and it shows in the way we play. And thankful for that. And we're adding, a guy like Reilly is only going to make that better.